Hey, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Oh, it's a little chilly out here. But hopefully you're nice and warm where you are. You are tuned in to WXNALP Nashville 101.5 FM. This is Dear Jelly. This is DJ Jelly. How are you? I am so excited to be here with you. Oh, it's a little chilly in the station. Okay, so we got a special show today. Well, every show is special because of you, because you're tuned in and I'm excited to see you. So today we're going to be talking about toxic relationships. And basically, if it's a red flag, if you are entertaining somebody who has a habit of being with people who are toxic. Like, have you heard that saying, you are what you attract. You attract what you are. Have you heard that saying before? Do you believe that? And if so, does that mean that if you have a history of being in toxic relationships with toxic people, are you the common denominator? Are you the toxic one? Are you attracting the toxicity? Could you be with somebody who has a history of being with toxic people, and even to the point to where the toxic situations roll over into your personal life? That's what we're talking about today. I know it's kind of messy, but it's just good to know. It's just good to be aware. Would you? Could you? Would you? Should you be with somebody with a toxic background? That's what we're talking about today on Dear Jelly. So stay tuned. Let me know what you think. Shout out to those tuned in on TGI Jelly on Facebook and TGI Jelly on YouTube. Let's talk about it. This is Dear Jelly, and we'll talk soon. You listen to Dear Jelly on the X. Hey! Hi, VL! Let me turn it down. Hey, VL! Can't see who this is yet. Hold on. Hey, Rhonda! Hey, Jenna! Hold on a second. Let me see who this user is that's unidentified user. It's chilly in here, y'all. Is it Nora? It is Nora. Hey, Nora. Why are you showing up as a... Did you give StreamYard permission to use your comments? You're not showing up. I don't know why. How you doing, beautiful? Nora. Do y'all believe that saying, you are what you attract? There's a girl, I don't know. I just know for some reason you're not showing up. And so I wasn't sure if it was something that needed to be done. Hold on one second. I have a story. Well, not a story, but a situation to read to y'all. There's like an all African saying. It says, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. I'll tell you who you are. Rhonda says she doesn't believe it. You don't believe it, Rhonda? You're tuned in to WXNALP Nashville 101.5 FM. And tracking back, that was Rotimi with Love Somebody. Love Somebody. Shout out to those joining us on TGI Jelly on Facebook as well as TGI Jelly on YouTube. We are discussing, there's that saying. It says, you are what you attract. And there's another saying, it's like an African saying. It says, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. And so I'm just curious, like, do y'all believe that? Like, who you attract, you are who you attract. You attract toxic. If you're into toxic things, are you going to, attract toxicity? Do you believe that? And if not, why don't you believe that? Because it's possible. So let me go ahead and before I go into that, Nora says, hey, Nora says, you settle for what you think you deserve. Good and bad are attracted to attractive things, but you decide what you entertain. That's a good point of view. That is a good point of view. So basically, today's thing is, she says, ladies, I have a good man. He cares for me, helps me out, and has welcomed my kids in his home. At 3 a.m., his car alarm sounded. We caught my baby daddy stealing gas out of his car. He says he can't be with someone who would have kids with a guy like that. What advice do you have? So clearly, she's with a good guy now, and she was with someone who was toxic and is now siphoning gas out of the dude she's living with car now. I was gonna say who does that, but people do it clearly. So what advice do you have? And would you react the same way? Like, he's toxic. You entertain toxic people. Can't be with somebody who entertains toxic people. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I can see how somebody wouldn't want to be with someone toxic, or who has a history of being with somebody toxic just for their own safety. But if you come across someone who you feel like you really care about and like, but they have a history of being with toxic people, could you entertain that? Do you think that they're the common denominator, meaning like, hey, they might be toxic too, or they're attracted to toxic things, toxic people? What are your thoughts? Talk to me. Let me know what you think. She wants some advice. So the gentleman, it seems like he's a really great guy. However, he is not a fan of the fact that, he said he can't be with somebody who has been with somebody toxic. He just can't deal with that. Is that fair? What would you do? I'm gonna play an oldie. It's not really oldie, but it's oldie. No, I love this song. For better or for worse. Obviously, they're not married. She's just living with him, she and her children. But I mean, hey, you took her in your home, so that's like saying for better for worse, right? Here's a better for worse kitty. Let me know what you're thinking. This is Dear Jelly on the X. Nora, you said you don't blame the guy for setting boundaries for safety reasons, but she can't control what he's doing. She can't control. So if someone is, hey, Selena, if somebody is typically, if they have a history of being with a bunch of toxic people, does that mean they attract toxic things? Does it mean they're attracted to toxic things? Does it mean they like the drama? does that mean that that might not be? Is that a red flag for you? I mean, is that a red flag for y'all? Is that a red flag? Hey, Tia. Selena, you getting ready to have? Is it your first Merry Thanksgiving? Woo! Is it your first Merry Thanksgiving? I feel like you've been married forever, but I think you got married this year, right? I'm excited. Boy, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. So what we say no, one toxic person was a lesson. Multiples shows poor decision making. I mean, is it? Is it? Oh, thank you, girl. I went to I'm coming from a baby shower. That's why these are not, y'all already know, these are not my radio station earrings. Okay. It's my special occasion, my sparklies, because I'm feeling excited. So coming from a pretty cha-cha baby shower. Selena says, I do believe that no one wants to be associated with someone who might bring harm to them. However, you can't control what others do. So, giving us glam. No, I'm trying to be like you when I grew up, baby doll. I see you. Ooh. You're listening to WXNALP Nashville 101.5 FM. Hey, 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 this is Dear Jelly, and you're tuned into Dear Jelly. I'm tracking back. That was For Better, For Worse by Kitty. For Better, For Worse by Kitty. I do want to share with you all that car or truck you've been hanging on to, the one you're not using anymore, the one that's too expensive to repair, you can donate it to WXNA. Provide a financial boost for your favorite independent radio station by donating a used car. It's free to you, easy to do, and a great way to help keep the music in Music City. Learn more at WXNAFM.org or call 855-500-RIDE. That's 855-500-7433. All right, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about that old saying, like you are what you attract. And if it's true that you do attract, if you are attracting someone toxic, that you might also be a little toxic. Especially if it's like multiple times. The thing we're dealing with today says, hey ladies, I found a good man. He cares for me, helps me out, and has welcomed my kids into his home. At 3 a.m., his car alarm sounded. We caught my baby daddy stealing gas out of his car. He says I can't be with someone who would have kids by a guy like that. Do you have some advice? And so clearly she's been with somebody toxic. I mean, the joker's outside siphoning gas out of her new guy's car. Who does that? Well, I mean, I guess we know who does that. He does that. So just track it back. Nora says, you settle for what you think you deserve. Good and bad are attracted to attractive things, but you decide what you entertain. Rhonda says she does not believe that you are what you attract. Nora says, I don't blame the guy for setting boundaries for safety reasons. Nora says, one toxic person was a lesson. Multiples shows poor decision making. Okay, let's put a push pin there. Multiple people. So if you come across a man or a woman who has been in multiple toxic relationships, are we saying that's a red flag? They might not be safe? Let me know. Selena says, I do believe that no one wants to be associated with someone who might bring harm to them. However, you can't control what others do. This is true. We cannot control what others do, but we can control who we entertain. after taking into consideration who they've entertained. Tia says, I think sometimes people see your positive traits and prey on them. Givers attract takers. People pleasers attract the selfish. Definitely have to consider your part in who you are entertaining. Ooh, okay. Okay. So it sounds like nobody is okay, so it sounds like we're saying, and we're just having a conversation. It sounds like we're saying that we agree with this gentleman for saying he can't be with somebody who could have children with someone like that because you have to think about your safety. But then it sounds like we're also saying, well, toxic people are going to be attracted, like how she said, givers attract takers, people pleasers attract the selfish. So are we saying that it is or is not a red flag if you've come across someone? Is it a red flag for you to come across someone who has been in a relationship with several toxic people? Is that a no-go for you? Let me know. Is that a no-go? Or is it that you're like, oh, let me see how he or she is and work from there? Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Because it definitely is something to take into consideration. Jenna says, I don't think that's her fault, though. Her baby daddy is just cray-cray. Yeah, I mean, it does sound like he's a little cray-cray, stealing gas in somebody's car. But it's just like, who wants to deal with that? But then again, like someone, it sounds like y'all are saying it's not fair not to be with her based on the cray-cray relationship, past relationships. That's what it sounds like y'all are saying. It sounds like y'all are saying you're giving grace. You're giving grace and not blaming her for the cray-cray. Is that what y'all are saying? That's what it sounds like y'all are saying. Nora says, if the baby daddy is stealing gas, he could do worse. But being in one relationship with a toxic person doesn't raise a flag. Multiple toxic relationship at some point is a reflection of you. Oh, is that okay? So it sounds like we're on the fence. It sounds like we're on the fence, or it might just be me. It sounds like we're on the fence that we're saying, might be a red flag. Depending on how many relationships you've been in, depending on how many cray-crays you've been entertaining, it might be you. Is that what y'all are saying? That's what it sounds like y'all are saying. And that's a whole mood. Here's Mood by Wiz King. Listen, Dear Jelly on the X. Hi, Sharika. Hi, Shosette. How are you doing? Josette, do you believe that you are, you know that old saying, you are what you attract? Do you believe that? So if you attract somebody who's been in several, so if you are what you attract. So if you stay in toxic relationships, do you believe that maybe it's you? And is coming across somebody who's been in several toxic relationships a red flag for you? Like, is that a sign for you that, like, no, this man or woman stays in toxic relationships? It's them. They like toxicity. Is that how you? So that's the thing. Basically, this woman's baby daddy, she's living with a new boyfriend, she and her children. This baby daddy, 3 a.m., his alarm went off. They caught him siphoning gas from the baby daddy's car. The baby daddy siphoning gas from the new boyfriend's car, and the new boyfriend is saying he can't be with somebody like that who could have babies with somebody like that. So is that a red flag for y'all? Like, because I mean, let's be clear, safety is an issue. And I'm not saying that someone should have to pay for the rest of their lives and miss out on a great relationship because of choices that they made to be with unhealthy people. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that a red flag for you? Like when people start, like, oh, the question I hate when they be like, why are you single? Like, and if you talk about if you happen to share some of the toxic relationships you've been in, I mean, should that be deemed as a red flag? Should that be a sign for you to run? If he or she shares they've been in several toxic relationships, is that a sign for you to be like, thanks, and run for the hills? Is that a deal breaker for you? It looks like some of y'all giving grace. I see a lot of she deserves grace. She deserves grace. So you're saying he or she deserves grace if you come across someone and clearly she's not showing any toxic traits because he let her move in with her children. But that's definitely something to consider, right? Like, you used to dealing with a lot of cray-crays. Am I safe? I mean, they came out and just caught him taking gas. What if he was doing something else? Car blowing up, all kinds of stuff happening. You're listening to WXNALP Nashville 101.5 FM. This is Dear Jelly. Hey. This is DJ Jelly. Happy Sunday. It's a little chilly here in Nashville. Hopefully you're nice and warm and safe where you are. I appreciate you tuning in, having a great conversation with some pretty good looking people right now on TGI Jelly on Facebook and TGI Jelly on YouTube. Tracking back, that was WizKid with Mood, featuring BNXN and Buju. If you're just tuning in, what we're doing is we are discussing the situation and wondering, what would you do? What would you do if you were in a situation? Basically, it's a lady says she's found a good man. He cares for her. He cares for her. He helps her out. He has welcomed her kids in his home. But at 3 a.m., his car alarm went off and they caught her baby daddy stealing gas out of his car. He says he can't be with someone who would have kids with somebody like that. And she wants advice. So what advice would you give? Do you believe in that saying, you are what you attract? No, there's an African saying at your earlier where it's like, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. So basically the people that you're, always around, this is who you are. This is what you're made of. I mean, is this what we believe? And is it a red flag for you to meet a man or a woman who has been in several relationships with toxic people? Is it they like the drama? Is it they're toxic and you just haven't found out yet? Maybe you're in the honeymoon stage. Let's talk about it. Rhonda says, yes, that would be a no-go for me because I don't do drama, nor because of his choice of women. Okay, so you're saying like, no, it's not for you because you don't do drama. So if he's been in a lot of toxic relationships, he can miss you with that. Nora says she deserves grace. Well, how much grace? Because now he's siphoning gas out of the car. I mean, what if it was something else, different? I mean, I'm just saying. Jenna says, I say she deserves grace and call the cops on that fool stealing gas. Even if you call the cops, how long is he going to be in there? I'm just saying. I'm not saying you shouldn't call the cops. And I'm not saying you shouldn't steal. I'm just saying. We're just having a conversation. Tia says, could definitely be a deal breaker. Safety issues are absolutely a no-go. So it is, if you are dealing with somebody who is accustomed to being in toxic relationships, you could be putting yourself in danger. We're just talking. It looks like Josette is saying no. No, so no, it's not a red flag for you, or no, you don't believe in the you are what you attract. Nora says the biggest issue is safety. Yes. Josette says, I have attracted toxic men all my life. I'm a woman. I'm a nurturer. Yes. I attract a lot of broken people, especially men, but I have healed and I continue to heal and grow. But when I pray for discernment and God lets me know that this is not the man for me, I need to let them go. Okay. Okay. And that's a good point of view. I think that's similar to what Tia was saying earlier. So she said she's a woman. So number one, she bad. She's going to attract them because she looks good. And then two, she's a nurturer. So she's going to attract these toxic, broken men because they know that she's a safe place. Okay. Okay. I hear y'all. I hear y'all. Nora says, I give grace once. If the baby daddy did something invasive, I cut ties. Okay. So you only get one shot. One shot. And Nora's like, guess what? It's been good. Gotta go. Josette says, no, we are not what we are tracking. She has are not in capital letters. She's like, no, ma'am, we are not what we attract. I hear you. Tia says, the question is, what's being done to break the pattern and maintain safety for all parties? And how far removed are you from the person? A bad relationship 5 years ago versus 5 weeks or 5 months is a totally different thing. Ooh, y'all are, So it sounds like you're saying it's not a red flag, is what it sounds like you're saying. Rhonda says, there's some people who can handle drama. They're just made like that. There's some people who can handle drama. They're just made like that. Is that, who is that? Yep, Nora says it's a red flag. Okay, so if you have had more than one dramatic type relationship, then Nora's going, that's a red flag. And, she's just not here for it. She's not here for it. Not saying everybody else is here for it, but it sounds like, I don't know, are we on the fence? Are we saying that we would give the person grace and see where it turns out? Because kind of like what Tia was saying, how long ago has it been? So what if it's been like 5 months? They've been with you 5 months, and it might be 5 months since they've been in a toxic relationship, but every other relationship prior to that has been toxic. So is that what you take into account? Nora says it's a red flag if you don't have a plan to fix the problem or address the safety issues. Ooh, address the safety issues. But what if you don't? So this is something that you should do prior to getting into a new relationship, I'm assuming, is what y'all are saying. This is what I feel like I'm hearing, because, sometimes you meet somebody and they just seem amazing, and you don't, they may not have divulged all of the toxic history because they don't want anybody to judge them. So they're kind of a mystery. Here's Mysterious Girl by Johnny Drill. But before we get into that, I do want to share with you the CDC recommends protecting yourself and others against coronavirus by staying up to date on your COVID-19 vaccines. The new booster protects against both the original virus and the Omicron variants BA4 and BA5. For eligibility and vaccination locations near you, visit vaccines.gov. All right, y'all. So maybe we want to be mysterious. Not, what is that thing they tell you when you're not supposed to give everything up? Because, somebody might judge you and think that you're crazy, or that you might be the toxic attractor. Or do you divulge all of it? I'm just curious, like, how much are we divulging, or how much are we looking into before we decide whether or not it's a red flag? And are we inquiring about whether or not they've been in toxic relationships? Is that one of the questions that y'all are asking? Have you ever been in a toxic relationship? Do you ask this when you're meeting people? You probably should. Or just stay a mystery. So we're just having a conversation. This is Dear Jelly on the X. Here's Mystery Girl by Johnny Drill. Amigo. Y'all are coming in deep today. I just knew that y'all were going to say red flag all day long. And y'all are not saying red flag, red flag. You're just like, no, give grace. No, it's not their fault. I'm kind of proud of y'all. I was not expecting y'all to be so understanding. Is VO still on the line? He's being quiet. I don't know if he's still here. But it definitely is one of those things that I guess in this day and age we need to be asking. Should be asking a long time ago, but I guess we need to be asking about things in terms of VL is here. He's being quiet. So I just assumed he wasn't. Forgive me. Just said you've already answered my question because I was gonna ask like how much do we dig into a person's past? Because I mean, let's be clear, your past is your past, right? And depending on your beliefs, you've already been forgiven of it. So you know why do we even have to divulge that much? Or if we're talking about a possible relationship, you know, are we expected to? Since y'all saying it's not a red flag, well, Nora says it's a red flag, but some of y'all are not saying that. So we're not divulging everything because it is part of our past. So kind of not their business. Or maybe in her case, because she has children with him, I can see her have, if you have children with someone, I can see you having to divulge some of that. But maybe not so much if you don't have kids. Help me out here. What are y'all thinking? We just giving everybody grace until we become unsafe. You're tuned in to WXNALP Nashville 101.5 FM. Tracking back, that was Johnny Drill with Mystery Girl. If you're just tuning in, hey, this is Dear Jelly, and with DJ Jelly. How are you doing? So excited that you're here. Hope you're warm and safe wherever you are and feeling valued. We are discussing, if you're just tuning in, we're discussing whether or not, one, you believe in the saying, you are what you attract. Do we believe this is true? And also, if you feel like if someone has been in a multiple amount of toxic relationships, is that a red flag for you? Are you running to the hills if you come across a woman or man who's been in several toxic relationships? Is it a sign that they're toxic? Today's letter is late. Is from someone who says she's found a good man. He cares for her. He helps her out. He's welcomed her kids into his home. But at 3 a.m., his car alarm went off, and they found her baby daddy stealing gas out of his car, to which he said he can't be with someone who would have kids by a guy like that. So he decided he couldn't be with somebody with a toxic past. He couldn't be with somebody who had basically stealing gas from his car. Like, no, he can't be with somebody. So she would like some advice. What advice would you render? What advice would you render? Tracking back a little bit, Rhonda says, there's some people who can handle drama. They're just made like that. Nora says it's a red flag. Nora also says it's a red flag if you don't have a plan to fix the problem or address the safety issues. Josette says, I think as women, we also attract really good men and bad people. Oh, excuse me. That is not what that says. I think as women, we also attract really good men and good people. But sometimes they are just part of our journey. Think of all the men or people that you may have met that helped you learn and grow. We have to acknowledge them too. Y'all, really, we have had some good men that may have passed through our life during our journey. Okay. So are you saying That we've had some good men that have passed through our journey, but but they may have had some toxic backgrounds. What we say? I was trying to figure out what we said because I hear you. It's deep. Nora says, I want to hear a man's perspective. Okay, we want to hear a man's perspective. Hold on, before we hear a man's perspective, here is Josette. Honestly, I don't dig in a man's past too much because people can change and grow. What I ask is, what is it about you right now that you don't want me to know? Oh, do they answer that? Tia says, I think you get that from listening to their history. Some folks' tolerance for chaos is higher than our own. They may not think things are toxic that we would be concerned about. That's true. Because we might be like, They like, what? It's pretty normal. And it's not. VO says, okay, here we go. Here's a man. Here's a man's perspective. VO says, attraction can be based on many factors. Red flags are more about the labeler. I evaluate things person by person. So is it a red flag for you, VO? If a woman has been in several toxic relationships or is just coming from a toxic relationship. Jenna says, who is this? Jenna says, I say it's a red flag if nothing is done about the foolery. So what do you want them to do about the foolery? What do we want them to do? Like, what's the advice? Y'all have advice for this young lady? Keita says, I don't think so. When I have heard people say that it's often in a judgmental tone or to be petty, I think lack of discernment is the issue more than anything else. Okay. Josette says, I'm actually dating a Nigerian man right now, and he has brought me closer to God than any man that I've ever met. I know Nigeria, red flag. No, Nigeria is not a red flag. At least I don't think it's a red flag. Where your country is not a red flag. And then VL saying, no, it is not a red flag for him if you are a woman who has a past of being with toxic men. Josette, you got 90-day fiance situation going on? I'm here for it. Feel free to write in. What is this? VL says, doctors attract patients. Birds of the same feather gather with those similar. Oh, wait. Now, VL, if this woman it sounds like you're saying that toxicity attracts toxicity. Because you're saying doctors attract patients. Like it's like you're flipping both coins. Are you messing with us? Doctors attract patients. Birds of the same feather gather with those similar. So if she continuously or he continuously attracts toxic people, are we saying they're toxic? Is that what you're saying? Birds of a feather flock together. That sounds exactly like the saying I was saying earlier. There's an African proverb. It says, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Birds of a feather, right? That's what we're saying. Do we have any advice for this young lady? Aku says, change of environment and level up. Okay, so these are some things that we can do to take away, to address the toxicity. We can change our environment and level up. VL says there are many factors in attraction. Yes, I get that. Jenna says, call the cops. Have a good talk about what is unacceptable with their baby daddy. If law enforcement needs to get involved, so be it. Josette says, yeah, just a little. Soldier Boy and Kim called me to assist with my visa and my stay there. They're friends of ours, but I'm going there for 12 days in January. Have fun. Going to Abuja? Girl, what part are you going to? Rhonda says, if that was the fact, then she would have never attracted the man she was with. Oh, that's a good point. So it sounds like Rhonda is saying that it sounds like she's not with a toxic guy now. So if she's not with a toxic guy now, then it's capable of her to attract different guy, a healthy guy, and do what Aku said earlier, which was changing the environment. Basically, she leveled up, level up, level up. Yeah, she leveled up. All right. Josetta's going to Legos. Who is congested in Legos? Be safe. That is, I mean, I'm just saying. So it sounds like she's saying, it sounds like y'all are we, do we have some advice? So the advice we have for her is change the environment, which she's done, leveled up, which she's done. But he's not okay with, I guess, calling the police, having a heart to heart with the baby daddy. I mean, but you think that you can have a heart to heart and be like, don't be stealing from my new boyfriend. But I mean, if you showing up 3 o'clock in the morning, no, there's no telling what else you're gonna do. There's no telling what else you're going to do. You know, I'm just, I'm just saying. It's kind of like what like some of y'all are saying. The thing of safety. It sounds like everybody is very gracious and open-hearted and open-minded, where we're not going to judge you based on a history of toxicity. I like how Josette said she doesn't go too deep into someone's past. So, how deep into someone's past do we go? Or is it like it's the past? So we like Rafiki and Lion King, and it's the past. It doesn't matter. Is that where we are? Are we on it's the past? It doesn't matter, or do we share everything? Everything. Here's Everything by Rick Asani. Listening to Dear Jelly on the X. Josette's going tonight, Joe. I'm excited for you. Josette, do your research. Make sure he's real. I'm coming, but you got like video calls and all that kind of stuff, right, Josette? You finna be on 90 Day Fiance, Josette? That's my show. The other way, girl. Aku's trying to give you some advice. Soldier Boy and Kim, girl. Kim. Aku says she is a professional catfish investigator. I didn't know that. If old dude, Tia says, if old dude's still stealing from her new guy, it's not the past, it's the present situation. Okay, so what advice can y'all give her then? Let's give her some advice. Josette, you trying to take your kids down there? Aku does a lot of international traveling, so she's also African. So if she's asking, it literally is just for your safety. Literally for your safety. We do video calls every day. I've met his parents. He's a Christian. His brother is a single pastor, and he's a military man with a stable job. So it's all good. You over in 90 Day Fiance the other way. They helping you apply to be on the show. Get that money. Girl, I will watch you, okay, on TLC. I am addicted to that show. I am a product of international love, okay? Literally. My mama eloped and went abroad. I am a product of international love. So, if you like it, I love it. If you love it, I like it. That's a cute song. Josette. Okay, girl. You're tuned into WXNA Nashville 101.5 FM. Tracking back, that was Rick Hassani with Everything. Everything. You're tuned into Dear Jelly. This is DJ Jelly, and I'm so excited. We've been having a really good time talking to some pretty amazing people and some professional catfish investigators, quote unquote. Some people who are experimenting in international love, and others who are open. Some people who are saying that, it's a red flag. It is a red flag for them to deal with somebody who's dealing with exes that are toxic, and others are saying they're giving grace and they're open to love and not judging a person based on their past of who they've been involved with. If you're just tuning in and wondering what in the world are we talking about, we're talking about a situation where a young lady, she's found a good man. He cares for her. He helps her out. He's even welcomed she and her kids into his home. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, they caught her baby daddy taking gas out of his car. The new boyfriend then says that he can't be with someone that would have kids by a guy like that. And she wanted advice. She wanted what kind of advice could we give? And the question was given to everybody was, do you believe that you are what you attract, even if you're attracting something toxic? And do you feel like it's a red flag if someone has been with somebody toxic? Is that a red flag for you? I do want to share with you all about the Elephant Sanctuary. The Elephant Sanctuary in Tennessee is a nonprofit organization providing home and herd to captive elephants retired from performance and exhibition. As a true sanctuary, the elephants' habitats are closed to the public, but the Elephant Discovery Center in Hohenwald offers interactive exhibits and programming exploring the many ways elephants shaped our world. More information and live streaming video at elephants.com. So it sounds like the consensus, I don't even know if we've come to a full agreement on some of the advice that we've been given to the young lady. I think somebody said, change your environment, which she has done. She's living with a new guy now. And change your environment, level up. It sounds like she's leveled up. But I don't want her to miss out on being with a great guy just because of her past of being with somebody that's toxic. Tia says, if old dude's still stealing from her new guy, it's not the past, it's a present situation. I'm just saying. Oh, that is so true. That is so true. It is now a present situation and not a past situation. However, I guess we're still giving grace. Once the police are called, I think we would like to think we can have a come to Jesus and sit down and talk to baby daddy about, not stealing from them. May not work. But it does sound like the consensus is that you would entertain someone who has been in multiple toxic relationships. You would give them grace. And then it also sounds like you do not believe that you are what you attract. Josette says, why does the baby daddy know where she was living at with the new man? I'm confused. So if it were me, I'm going to approach the old baby daddy with a rifle at the throat. Don't bother us. We are moving on. Make arrangements when you want to see your kids. That might be why he knows. Maybe because he comes to pick them up. That might be why he knows where the children are. Josette says, Grace, no, y'all giving him a ghetto pass to do it again. So there's, I think the grace was given to her, like, where the new guy is saying that he cannot be with somebody who has, been with somebody like that and has children with somebody like that. He just can't be with somebody who basically has a lot of toxic past. But I think that the thing is we're giving her grace because it's not her fault. As somebody shared earlier, it's not her fault that, well, I mean, I guess it is her fault because she chose the guy. We're not keeping her at fault because we're moving on. Because clearly she wants bigger and better, which is why she's with the gentleman she's with now. So we're not holding her past of toxic choices over her head is what we're not doing. I think that's what the consensus is. And so y'all are saying you do not believe that you are what you attract, and you do not, it won't be a red flag for you if someone has a toxic past, as long as it's not like a right now situation. If it truly is their past, and each situation and each relationship has to determine what the past means. I think it was Tia earlier who was saying the past might be 5 years, the past might be 5 months. It really, y'all have to decide what the past is for y'all. Natasha says, some people start out good and change over time. That's true. So then I feel like if some people start off good and then change over time, I feel like then in those instances, I feel like we are dealing with their representatives and not the real people. Like we're dealing with who they want to be, maybe, who they aspire to be. Just saying. We're just having a conversation. What do y'all think? Josette says, if he was that kind of fool to begin with, she should know. Not to let him know where she is. The new dude, Grace, nah, he needs a gun now too. What's happening here? Okay, so it sounds like Josette is choosing violence. Hey, all the way around, Josette is choosing violence for the sake of her peace. There's no judgment. We are just having a conversation. I hear you. Yeah, definitely, especially with him. I mean, it's one thing for you to just kind of show up and want to take your kids. It's another thing for you to show up and you taking my gas 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what you're doing. I don't think anybody is safe during those hours. So should be safe during those hours. Should feel safe during those hours, especially the one siphoning gas should not feel safe to do so. But I digress. All right, y'all. We have come to the end of the show. I appreciate everybody that's been here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Meet me here at the same time, same place. This time next week, we have had a really good conversation, and I love the different input that everybody has given. Josette says, not violence, just a little sign of strength. Josette, you give me a little, all my life I had to fight vibes. But I hear you, girl. I hear you. Natasha says, this sounds personal. He is targeting new guy. He could still gash from anybody. He could still gash from anybody. It might just be that he's a little bitter that he might just be feeling a little bitter that she's upgraded. That she's upgraded her life. Because, you showing up to steal gas out of the vehicle, that is just ridiculous. But we're just having a conversation. We're trying our best not to judge anybody. Do feel free to send a scenario, a situation, a question to Dear Jelly, to TGI Jelly on Facebook, or TGI Jelly on YouTube, or TGI Jelly on Instagram, and we'll talk about it. We do omit names to protect the innocent. And again, I appreciate y'all being here. I've enjoyed this conversation. Y'all have given me a lot to think about. I'm really proud of y'all. I just knew everybody was going to be like, yes, 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 you are what you attract. Yes, 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 red flags all across. But it sounds like you're very loving and open and forgiving people. So I definitely wish you the same, that you will come across people who will be loving and forgiving and open for you. goodness. Somebody's finally walking in. I've been waiting for you. I've been rambling on the air.
Sorry.
Hey, guys. Guess who just walked in? Mr. Marriage. Mr. Newly Married. DJ Juan is in the building. DJ Juan, somebody's husband, is in the building. Juan, you got married over the last weekend.
That's right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you feel married?
Yes.
You feel
Feel great.
married? We're so excited. Do stay tuned into WXNAFM.org and listen to the International Echo. I don't know, it might have a new groove with Juan being married and all. Josette says all he had to do was ask a few dollars for gas. I give gas money to my kids' dad all the time. Oh, I should not laugh. Oh, I'm sorry. Tia says, hey, DJ Juan. Ooh, look, he got the husband glow. Oh, they say you glowing.
That's right.
Oh, did y'all see him show y'all the bling? Yes. We are here for the married one. All right, y'all. We love you. Appreciate you. Wouldn't want to do this without you. We'll see you next week. Otherwise, stay tuned in to WXNAFM.org and listen to Married DJ Juan. Somebody said you released your royal oats. Oh, that's just gross.
Whoa.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Juan. We love you. All right, y'all. Juan and I love you. And he'll stay on. Well, he'll stay on the air, and I'll see you next week. Have a great one. Oh, sometimes y'all are crazy. Yeah, I said it on the air. Y'all are crazy. Love y'all. Oh, somebody. Oh, wait. Jenna says, "Yay, DJ Juan." You sold your royal oats. That's just. He wasn't expecting that, y'all. I wasn't expecting that. That came from Florida. Your royal oats. All right, y'all. Love you. Have a great week. Where's my outro? There we go.